On next week's episode, we talk about the upcoming start to the NHL. The NFL is in full swing, and the MLB is about to hit the playoffs. Oh, I love October. Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 25, season 2 of Points and Penalties. For all our listeners, we'd like to remind you to please subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. For viewers on YouTube, please be sure to subscribe to our channel by clicking the little PMP button in the bottom right-hand corner right about here. No matter how you check out PMP, give us a like and follow on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at Points Penalties. Once again, I know it's been a while, but you got to remember me. My name's Josh. With me are my two co-hosts today, Jesse and Peter. Kev's away. That's all right. We got the three of us. We'll hold down the fort. Jesse, start with you. What are you drinking tonight?
I am drinking Hawaiian style pale ale. It's called it's from Spearhead Brewing Company up in Kingston.
Pete, I believe you've had that before.
I think
Pass on the show. I think that was last
new.
year though, like season 1, I think it was. But
Josh's memory is a lot better than ours. So yeah.
I wrote it down. No.
Oh, this has been sitting in there for a while.
It has been a while since we've done a show, so I can imagine.
Actually, mine has too.
Yeah, mine 3.
Well, it's just a 6%. Starting off easy.
Make sure she's
few drinks this week already, or this week, fucking today. And all day football. Yeah. yeah. So I've been busy drinking, watching football all day, and this is my first specialty beer, I guess you could say. And it's a good start. I like it. I don't know what Peter's review on it was, but this one wasn't bad.
Mine was better. What'd you say the alcohol percentage of it was?
I was asking how you liked it.
No, I know. My review was better.
It was just 6%.
Oh, what a bitch.
Okay, so what do you got there, Pete?
I found myself a Monty's aged rye ale.
Shit, I've had that before.
Have you?
I probably gave a better review on it too.
It's from Tomorrow Brewing Company. It is a 6.2%.
Oh, fucking beating him up there, Pete.
And apparently it's got smoky caramel vanilla flavors.
Ooh.
So let's give this girl a try. Yeah, that's good. Actually, you really do taste the caramel, actually. And you can also really taste that extra 0.2%, you know? You feel it. Yosh.
I mean, I never thought that I was going to not be the bitch today. I figured you guys would be coming out heavy hitters. We haven't been on in a month and a bit. And
come on, have a 6.1. 6.1.
We like I said, it's been a while. But I guess I did a little better. From out of Markham, Rouge River Brewing Company, I've got Holy Trinity Hazy IPA. It is a whopping 6.8.
I thought he was going to beat you by a point.
It got some goblets on there, and I don't know. I've never had this one. This too has been in my fridge for a while. Oh yeah, that's what a craft beer tastes like. Good stuff. Real good stuff. So I take the cake on the booze content with a 6.8. I figured for sure somebody was coming with an 8%er today, but turns out you guys are bitches.
Especially Jesse.
Hey man, were you drinking all day? I'm just glad I made it to 9 o'clock.
Here and there.
All right, guys. I know Pete has got something to talk about that Jesse and I, we'll put our 2 cents in, but it's not our forte, right? But because we have so many listeners here in Canada that love talk hockey, we're going to start with that. Skip it. Except for the ones that skip it. That's right. Spina, I'm talking to you.
You shouldn't do that. Shouldn't do that. It's the best part. Come on.
Anyway, Pete, start us off with our 25th episode of season 2, talking about hockey.
Well, you mentioned in the precursor that October, you gotta love it, and you really do have to. It's got to be one of the best sports months there is.
I think it might be the best.
It might be. The NHL and NBA are just kicking off. You got playoff baseball and just mid-season NFL. There's lots going on, lots of content. It's a good time to be a fan.
Show.
But anyway, I'm going to talk about the NHL for all our listeners that don't skip it.
Surprise.
So the season kicks off on October the 7th with a series of games between the Predators and the San Jose Sharks in Prague. It's part of the international promotion the league is doing. So that'll be fun to watch. Although it's
I was drinking all day today because the NFL's in Europe today.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So
it's 9:30 game.
Exactly. NHL is doing a similar kind of thing, I guess.
Have you seen any of these games, Pete, that are abroad? Like, obviously not live, but I mean, like, not live in person, but on TV.
I think I watched the one that was in England a couple years ago. I forget who it was, though. It's been a while.
Do you remember if the fans were like when you're watching the NFL, like so this morning, when you look into the stands, even though it was the Vikings and the Saints,
yeah, you see all sorts of jerseys.
I love that. It was so cool to see, you get a Vikings fan and a Bears fan sitting side by side, and or a, doesn't matter, right?
They don't know they're supposed to hate each other.
Yeah,
yet.
for sure. Yeah. But so I was just wondering if, sorry to interject there, but I was just wondering if the NHL fans abroad were the same type.
No, I think yeah, it is. I think you do get a very similar effect because they don't have a local team to be a fan of. So
I'm sure some of the places do. There's guys playing the Europe.
But not NHL home.
It's not NHL level. No,
yeah.
It's not.
And right, NHL. I mean, though. So like, so when you pick a team, usually it's because there's a player from your hometown that's on X team, or just you like whatever team for whatever reason. So yeah, you get the very similar effect where you might have a little more of the two teams that are playing each other, but there is a definitely smorgasbord of jerseys in that arena. Yeah. So the rest of the league kicks off on the 11th on a doubleheader featuring the Lightning against the Rangers and the Golden Knights against the Kings. And then the Leafs, they kick off their season the next night on the 12th against their oldest rivals, the Habs. And so the Habs might be in for a rough year because it's looking like Carey Price is likely to not play at all this season. But regardless, they always seem to play the Leafs very tough, even if the two teams, talent-wise, have a significant disparity, which I think they do right now. But it'll still be a tough outing every time against the Habs. The Leafs will also be without John Tavares. The captain is injured. He's expected to miss at least 3 weeks with an oblique strain. So right off the bat, the center depth will be tested. So question for you guys, as we start this new fresh season. The Leafs have yet to win a playoff round at all in the Austin Matthews era.
A lot longer than that.
Yeah, a lot longer than that, going all the way back to 2004, I think. How do you think they do this season?
Probably the same as last season. Fucking Matthews is gonna fucking destroy as usual. Tons of hype going into it, and then can't get out of the first round.
Fuck you, Jesse.
I mean, that's a hard one to argue. It really is. It's definitely a hard one to argue. I'm gonna say, well, I don't want to spoil everything for a little later because I know Pete, just in case, maybe I take the Leafs to win the cup or something. So for now, I'm gonna say that they do better than last year.
So get out of the first round.
They get out of the first round. But I also feel like they're going to do better in the regular season. They're going to have more points, and they're going to need to score a lot of goals because the defense, from what I've read into, still, although the defense itself may be better, I don't know if the goaltending got better, and that's a tough goal. It's a tough goal. You got to have a top end goalie if you want to go deep in the playoffs, and I don't know if I'm sold on the Leafs choices.
Yeah, that's I was gonna echo that exact sentiment because you mentioned goal scoring. So luckily they have the perfect guy for that.
Yep.
In Austin Matthews, of course. But yeah, the goaltending, the tandem of Matt Murray and Ilya Samsonov obviously is full of question marks. Matt Murray, we know, can do it. He's done it before, but that was a long time ago. He hasn't been that guy since. Although he has shown spurts of his former glory, he hasn't been able to kind of put together any consistency there.
No, he's had nobody in front of him either in his past.
Correct.
But
so it's a major question mark, and so I think I agree with you, Ocean. I really truly hope this is the year they can get out of the first round. But I don't know if they're going to be Stanley Cup contenders with the goaltending the way it is, unless they can find their former glory, especially with Murray, or maybe Samsonov is ready for an outbreak. We'll see. So that being said, why don't we get into a little bit of a season preview in each of these divisions, starting with the Atlantic. So the Atlantic was a powerhouse last year. I think it will be again this year. I think it's the best division in hockey, fairly easily. The big four teams in the division, the Panthers, the Leafs, the Lightning, and the Bruins, didn't really lose significant assets this offseason. The Panthers did, but they also got back Matt Tkachuk. So it's, they're a bit of a question mark, but they should still be good. But the bottom four teams, Buffalo, Detroit, Ottawa, and Montreal, are all steadily improving. So I expect that the top three teams of the division, the Panthers, Leafs, and Lightning, will continue to be the top three. But look for an upstart Ottawa or Detroit team to seriously challenge the Bruins as they're getting older, they're aging. I would look for one of those teams to maybe challenge for that fourth spot.
Who would you think it would be between Ottawa and Detroit?
I mean, Ottawa made some real good acquisitions this year. Adding DeBrincat is a great fucking move. And they just have the young core that they're building around. They could really take a step this year. Maybe they're not quite ready for that yet. And Detroit had two guys on the team that were fighting for the Rookie of the Year last year. And
the defensive guys, right?
Yeah, well, one Sider's a defenseman and Lucas Raymond's a forward. They both had great seasons. So
yeah, I like the Detroit team.
Yeah, I was gonna say my hot take there would be Detroit for 4. And who knows? Maybe maybe they can fight if they have a good season and get some good defense there and some tending. Maybe they push for a fight in that third spot, but I think, Pete, you're probably right that the top three probably stay there. And I'm looking for Detroit to take the number 4 spot and fuck Boston.
Fuck Boston. So who's you guys winner of this division?
Well, I'm not going to Leafs. Not a chance. I'm going to go with, I don't know, I guess you could call my favorite team there just to chirp you guys a bunch, but it's the Lightning. They're definitely going to grab it again. Well, I didn't get it last year, but they're gonna be there, I think. And yeah, the Leafs just can't get consistency enough to. When was the last time they won the division?
I think the year before, but it was the Canadian division. It wasn't the Atlantic.
Oh yeah, where they had a bunch of different divisions.
Yeah.
But I think the Lightning got this.
Well, I preluded to it a little earlier that I thought the Leafs were going to do better than they did last year, and the only way to do better, didn't they finish second, didn't they, in the division?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the only way to do better is to win the motherfucker.
That's right.
So I think they are going to take it. I'm going to say that the Panthers are going to finish 2 and the Lightning 3. The Panthers did lose Huberdeau, and that's tough. He was a great player. And I think that's gonna, like you said, Chuck he's a half decent player. Maybe he's better than half decent, but I think they're gonna miss Huberdeau's scoring, his touch.
Yeah, the way I look at it, I think that like Kachuk for Huberdeau is an even swap. And right now, I think Kachuk has a better future because he's a lot younger. But right now, I would take either one of them for one day. But for the Panthers to have Mackenzie Weegar also in that trade, who's could easily be a number 1 defenseman on a team, I think that's where you'll see the Panthers hurt, is losing Weegar, and they also lost Giroux to free agency. So
It's pronounced Giroux.
Giroux. So they might take a step back, but I'm with Yosh. The Leafs, they had the 4th best record in the league last year, even though they're only 2nd best in the division. So to improve on that is, might take a bit of significant improvement, but the Panthers might take a step back as well. So I agree with you. I think the Leafs are taking the division this year. So they're a regular season monster. You should know that by now, Jesse.
Hey man, they may be good in the regular season at times, but they still like I said, when was the last time they captured a real division, not fucking the Canadian version?
I do not recall.
There's always a bunch of hype up to them, and yeah, Austin Matthews probably going to tear it up, but like defense is rough, and the goaltending is very questionable. At least last year with Campbell, you kind of knew what you were getting with, but I think this year is gonna be very questionable.
Yeah,
and that's always been their problem, is goaltending and defense.
I mean, not always. When they had Cujo and Felix Potvin.
Oh, the fuck! That's when we're all in diapers. It's like, fuck.
I mean, not me, but
yeah, I'm less worried about the defense, but yeah, goaltending is a big question mark. Anyway, let's move on to the Metro. So the Metro, in my opinion, has a clear top 4 teams: the Canes, Rangers, Penguins, and Caps. So despite Columbus being the unlikely landing spot for the summer's biggest free agent, Johnny Gaudreau, it's unlikely that any of them, the Islanders, the Devils, or the Flyers, are at a level to actually compete with any of the 4 teams I mentioned, especially with names like Crosby, Malkin, Ovechkin still on the Penguins and Caps. The Rangers still have an extremely young core, including first overall pick Alexis Lafreniere from a couple years ago, and former 2nd overall pick Capo Caco from a few years ago. And they've already arrived, and they're only getting better. And the always strong Canes are probably going to easily compete for the top of the division. So I don't see any of those bottom teams knocking off any of those top teams. I think it'll be the same top 4. And I've got the Canes winning the division again. How about you guys?
I'm with you right there, Peter, with the Canes. I'm very impressed with what they were able to do last year and continue on this year.
Nope, you're wrong. Both of you. The New York Rangers are going to take this division. Like you said, Pete, with the young core, Lafreniere, KK, and Panarin, and Igor Shesterkin. I think he's going to continue to get better, and having that solid backstop there is only going to make everyone else better. Excuse me. And the Penguins and Caps are old. They are old. Like, they are pulling out heartstrings here to try and to do something here with their last gasp.
You're not wrong.
And I mean, with this division winner, I looked at it and I had, maybe the heart was saying choose Pittsburgh, and maybe that's only because of Crosby and the Canadian connection, but there's just there's just no way that the Penguins are going to win this division. And fuck the Canes. And let's go with the Rangers.
Josh is New York teams.
I know, right? Fucking guy.
Yeah, well, in hockey, it's more about Boston, not New York, right? The hated team. So
that's true. That's true. I don't mind the Rangers. Okay, let's move on to the Pacific. So the Pacific is very likely going to be topped again by the Battle of Alberta, with the Oilers continuing to employ two of the very best players in the world, and the completely reinvented core of the Flames, swapping Huberdeau and Uyghur for Makachuk, as we previously mentioned. Also adding Nazem Kadri. So in the short term, I easily see that as a net improvement for the Flames.
100%.
But don't count out the rest of the division too fast. The Kings were a surprise last year, getting into that third spot in this division. But they are young and they are continuing to improve. Look for them to grow some more. The Golden Knights will have a full year, barring injury, of a healthy Jack Eichel, which hopefully will help them right the ship after last year's playoff miss, even though someone who's supposed to be close to this league picked them as a Stanley Cup winner. Fucking idiot. And the Canucks, they're hit and miss, but with a full season under Bruce Boudreau as head coach, should provide more stability after last year's midseason coaching change. But keep a close eye on the Kraken too. So despite revealing a terrible troll mascot named Bowie this week, I don't know if you guys saw that, but
no,
literally a troll.
Wouldn't the fucking mascot be
You think it'd
an
be a
octopus?
Kraken, right?
Yeah, like what the fuck?
They went with the fucking troll.
So it's a troll named Bowie.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I assume it's because they're gonna have like a social media account that trolls other teams or something. It's supposed to be a thing, but anyway, it's literally a troll. It's terrible. But apart from the terrible mascot, they were able to luck into last year's projected number 1 overall prospect, Shane Wright, with the 4th pick at last year's draft. And the draft before that, they picked number 2 overall. They picked Matty Beniers. He was looking like a stud so far this preseason. So keep an eye on the Kraken. I don't think they're ready to compete just yet, but they're going to have some real good future with that core. And you never know. They might appear sooner rather than later. So who's your winner in this division?
Well, definitely not the Kraken, just because of their stupid mascot. I'm looking at it right now. He's got a fucking spear and everything. Like it's a troll spear fishing Kraken, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, he's also got
maybe he's whaling.
He's got a tentacle that hangs from his ear that's supposed to be a part of the Kraken.
Oh, so he's kind of
supposed to be massive.
Yeah, it's like a baby Kraken.
The tentacles get smaller when they get to the end, you know? It's just the end. It's like a fingertip.
It's kind of like Jack Sparrow's fucking beads in his hair.
Kind of, yeah. It's terrible. It's brutal.
Yeah, it's
would have been better to have like a pirate as your mascot than a troll.
Yeah, 100%.
Lots of things would have been better.
Yeah.
It's an easy runner-up for the penalty box.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, dude.
So, because I don't think it's gonna be the Kraken because they're stupid mascot, only because of the stupid mascot. No, I gotta go with the Oilers. McDavid, Draisaitl, they just keep getting better, and obviously you got Nurse, who has turned out to be a very good defensive player. I just think they're gonna pull it out and beat the new look Flames for the division title. I think it's going to be a battle of Alberta there, and for that title, and she going to go to the Oil.
Yeah, I'm right on there with you, Yosh. I know it's kind of like hypocritical because they don't have fucking defense or whatever, kind of like tripping the Leafs and shit, but they're definitely the most better players on that team, I find. Like they're just straight up superstars there. So I'm hoping that they just run that way in that division and just can score as many points as possible.
Yeah, I don't think you guys are right, simply because that's what the Oilers have been for the past, I don't know how many seasons, call it fucking 4 or 5 seasons, I guess now.
Like I said, I'm kind of hypocritical because that's the same way the Leafs are.
Exactly. It's the McDavid and Draisaitl show, and it's a fucking fantastic show. But the opening act and the closer are just fucking brutal. And the Flames won the division last year, and I think they got better. So I don't see any reason they wouldn't win the division again. As long as this core can quickly gel together, that may be a bit of a concern, but assuming that can.
I'm sure it won't be a big deal when they're professionals. They're they're pretty good. So
there's also something called practice too, so they'll figure it out.
Practice? You talking about practice? Okay, the Central Division. So this division hosts last year's Stanley Cup champs in the dynamic Colorado Avalanche. And despite losing Nazem Kadri in free agency, these guys should be the clear favorites to repeat as division winners. I think they're clearly the best team in this division, if not in the NHL. The Blues and the Wild are likely to battle it out for the number 2 spot after not losing any major pieces over the offseason, and they finished about the same last year. The Predators and Jets could be in that conversation as well for the runner-up spot. But the Preds are all over the place, and the Jets locker room is rumored to be a complete dumpster fire in terms of the culture of that locker room. So you never know what you're going to get with the Jets.
It's been like that for a while, I think.
Yeah.
And all the different guys in there, and has not been a good gelling situation at all.
Yeah. So on paper, they look like they should be good. They have Connor Hellebuck, so you never know. They can be a contender at any time with a goaltender like that, but they just can't seem to pull it together. The Stars, Blackhawks, and Coyotes like doing too much, as they all subtracted this offseason, and they already had mediocre or bad teams. The Stars should be significantly better than the other two, but at least the Coyotes won't have to worry about too many empty seats, as this will be their first season at their new arena at ASU. Which holds, I forget how many it is, but it's like fucking 4,500 people or something stupid.
Kitchener Rangers fucking rink is bigger.
That's right. That's right. Kitchener Rangers OHL team, by the way, for those who don't know. So it shouldn't be any surprises here. Who is your division winner in the Central, boys?
It's a no-brainer, man. You got to be some kind of dumb if you go against the Avalanche in this division.
Yeah, I think so too. I got the Avs.
Yep.
Yeah, so we're all on the Avs. So guaranteed they're not going to win for some fucking crazy reason.
Yeah.
But we'll leave it at that. So that's our division picks. Let's move on to what's more important. Who do you guys think is going to win the Stanley Cup?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Avs. I'm gonna get them to repeat. They got the experience now. They didn't lose too much. I think they have the talent to go the distance again. And through that, the Pacific or the West, there's not really a challenger I see. So I think they'll probably get to the Stanley Cup again, and it just depends on who they're beating there.
Well, you took my fucking thunder there, Jess.
Yeah, I gave you ample time to answer.
Yeah, I could have jumped in there. I really want to say the Leafs, but I've gotten burned every time, as has everybody gotten burned when calling the Leafs. So I am gonna go with the Avalanche. They are a strong team. Yes, they lost Kadri.
He's not usually in the playoffs anyways.
But
he
was this year.
And he was outstanding in the playoffs this year.
Yeah, he still missed the game though, didn't he?
I don't know.
He might have, yeah.
I think he did.
I think he got suspended for at least a game. But
It's just what he does.
No,
But-
I don't think he got suspended this playoffs. No way.
I think he did for a game.
No, challenge.
Okay, let's do it. I think he
hope-
did. I'm
I
pretty
hope.
sure he got for a game. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. So too.
Yeah.
I hope not.
Anyway, yeah, I just think they're just going to be too strong. They now have the pedigree. They now have the experience. They've gone deep in the playoffs for the last handful of years. They just weren't able to pull it out until last year. So I think that is going to resonate large with those boys. And I think they got a pretty easy path to at least say the semis. And so they're going to do it.
Yeah, I certainly could see it. I mean, they lost Kadri, like we said, who was great in the playoffs. They made Nathan McKinnon the highest paid player in the NHL. So he may be less motivated. You never know. Probably not, but stranger things have happened. But they're going to be right in that conversation, obviously, because they are a top team in this league. But it's incredibly difficult to repeat. I don't think they're going to do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do the thing. I'm gonna say Matt Murray is going to regain his former glory and bring the Leafs to the promised land. Because I think outside of the goaltending question, this is a Stanley Cup caliber team all day long. So if Matt Murray can be the answer to the goaltending question, which I'm going to gamble and say he is just for this pick, whether he actually will be or not, I don't know. I'm going to go with the Leafs.
Boom. I hope you're right, buddy.
And I hope, even though I don't have them winning the division, you got to think that a player like Connor McDavid, a player of that caliber, has got to be able to will his team at least into the finals at some point. So I would love to see an all-Canadian Leafs Oilers Stanley Cup final. Would make me a happy boy. Especially if the Leafs win, of course. So I'm going Homer. I'm going Leafs.
Of course you are. Well, Peter's out. Don't have to worry about that.
At least my pick probably won't miss the playoffs this year. So there's that.
Yeah, that's a good start.
Okay, that's our Stanley Cup winners. Back to the regular season. Who do you think is going to be the MVP and win the Hart Award?
Well, I am going to go with a Colorado Avalanche player. He's going to win the MVP. This is going to be a crazy one. I'm going to say Cale Makar. I think he is going to continue his phenomenal season from last year, a great playoff from last year, and he is going to tear it up and be the most valuable player.
I will say that it's a very difficult award for a defenseman to win.
100%.
Just because it's so biased towards points and goals. But Makar's a new kind of defenseman, and he certainly could be. He probably won't be right in the conversation with the league leaders in terms of goals and points, just because of the position he plays. But he may be, he may be right there in the conversation.
The dark horse.
Yeah. So I can see it. I don't think it'll happen because it's rare, but I could certainly see it.
Well, that's how good of a season he's going to have.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Jesse?
I go with McDavid. He's the superstar. I know I was claiming for it all last year because I just want to see Leaf to win it. because I'm just a hater. And I'm going to go with this year too. And I'm going to go with McDavid. He's going to probably have an amazing year again, just like last year. Hopefully a little bit better to grab that MVP. Yeah, so I'm going to go with the superstar Canadian.
Well, clearly to make my Stanley Cup prediction come true, Matt Murray. No, I'm just kidding. I hate to do it, but I'm going to agree with Jesse, of all people.
Yeah, there you go. Way to get on board. You might be right about stuff eventually now. How much do you immediately regret saying?
Almost. And even before I said it, I regretted it. But yeah, McDavid is the kind of player where he's too good to miss out on too many hard awards. He's gonna be right in the conversation, leading the league in points, if not certainly doing so. And he's just that kind of player where he's never a bad choice for this award. Although I'd love to see Matthews repeat.
I mean, it's definitely possible. Like even I said, I was like, he's gonna do his thing, score a bunch of goals, be a superstar that he is. But you can definitely see it.
Yep, especially if he puts up 60 again, 65,
Makar
70, 75. No. Okay, that's our picks for the NHL MVP. And after the quick break, we're going to get into who was the points and penalties MVP right after this. This week's points and penalties MVP.
By week, he means months.
This quarter's MVP. Well, we had to pick two because there are two absolute legends of the sport that have announced their retirement and played their final tournaments. We're talking tennis, and we're talking Serena and Roger. I don't even need to say the last names. You know who I'm talking about.
100%.
Legends. So Serena, who's, I would say, easily the greatest of all time, female tennis player.
Yep.
Easily. She played her last US Open earlier in September. She lost in the third round to Tomljanovic. And she announced her retirement after 27 years, 23 Grand Slam titles, 4 Olympic gold medals, and 319 weeks ranked as the world number one. It's widely regarded as one of tennis's greats. And like I said, fairly easily, at least in my opinion, the greatest female tennis player ever. The GOAT. So Serena Williams, to a beautiful playing career. And Roger Federer, who played his last tournament before officially announcing his retirement. He lost in a doubles matchup at the Laver Cup. Laver, sure. Tennis super fan here. Tennis super fan. So he was in the game for 24 years. He had 20 Grand Slam titles, a silver Olympic medal. He had spent 310 weeks ranked as the world's number one. My God. Another one of tennis's greats. He's right up there in the conversation with the top male player of all time, along with the Joker and Nadal, who are continuing to play. So for these two absolute legends of the sport of tennis, you are this week's MVP. This month, this quarter's. It's been a while since we've done an episode, okay?
Yeah, like there's I gotta agree with you on Serena 100%. She, in my opinion, and I guess in your speed, is she is the GOAT. She is the best women's player of all time. Just amazing. She and her sister opened doors for women in the game and change women's sports in general to be accepted and to just to take over just as much as both of them did during their the pinnacle of their careers. But for Serena to just continue to be great, and like I said, you look at the two careers here, very, very similar, right? 27 years, 24 years, 23 title Grand Slams, 20 Grand Slams, 319 weeks, 310 weeks. They're so similar, these two. And it's just insane how we were lucky enough to watch both of these players from the beginning, at least for me. I'm a little older than you guys, so I can remember, watching a Federer in like 98 when he started out.
I did not.
No,
right.
I would say you're quite a bit older.
Well, whatever. It doesn't matter. That's neither here nor there. But to be able to see them, at this age, and like Serena struggled in her US Open. She had a tournament this year. She had some great chances. She had some great shots, some great plays, so on and so forth. But she was just outmatched in terms of endurance. And that was the issue in this case. And that's what happens as you get older, right?
Well, yeah, like what's the
endurance
age
goes
gap?
first.
What's the age gap that she lost to? She's in her 40s, right?
Yeah, like Tomljanovic is got to be like in her 20s, I'm thinking. Like, I don't know 100%, but
she's 29.
29. So, but again, just both of these players incredibly phenomenal. And I feel like, and obviously as time goes on, there's always going to be the new GOAT, but like all the GOATs that have been talked about in the last, like I've been around for all of it. Maybe that just makes my ass old, but the Tiger, the MJ, obviously I guess, a lot of talk about LeBron, and if Kobe was still around, definitely, Kobe
Jordan.
So I've been around for all these guys. Tom fucking Brady, right? I saw his first one. I remember watching the Bills. Might not have been a Bills game. It was obviously a Patriots game. I don't think they were playing the Bills. When Tom came in for Bledsoe, like I remember watching that. And it's just wild that my old ass has seen so many GOATs come and go.
Yeah, it might be a trend that we haven't seen the last of, though.
Yeah, fair enough.
Which would be great for sport in general, to see maybe the new generation of GOATs is already playing.
Right.
Maybe someone like Patrick Mahomes is going to take that crown from Brady once he gets the
Josh Allen.
Maybe Josh
Allen's
Allen.
got a long way to go before he gets there.
Maybe he's got 7 back-to-back Super Bowls in his future. Who the fuck knows?
Yeah. Well, even sorry, I didn't mention anybody about hockey, but so I lived a little, like I wasn't really paying attention too much about Gretzky until he got to the Kings for GOATs. But then we got to see Crosby and Ovechkin in that fight throughout and then now McDavid. That's not the
same as
no, they're not. No, it's not Gretzky, but they're the next guys up, right? And like you said, Pete, maybe that's what's going to continue to happen is that every 10 years we get guys that are going to push for that top GOAT spot. At least push for it. At least push. But anyway.
Yeah, like it's great. I'm with you guys on Serena for sure. 100% GOAT, no problem. Federer, maybe not so much. There's a lot of talented male tennis players. And one of his good buddies, Nadal, another guy that you could count in there. He had quite the heartfelt message to him when he retired. He was a pro's pro with him because they were pretty much rivals for most of the time while they were playing. So it's great. It's great to see that they have that relationship, even though they were constantly playing each other for the Grand Slams.
Yep. I couldn't agree with you more. So to Serena and Roger, legends of the sport, cheers to both of you.
Cheers.
There's actually talk about, or was initially, that Serena might be just taking a hiatus type thing. She wants to focus on family right now and come back. But after seeing her last match, and no disrespect, but she had her chances, but she was outmatched for sure.
No, father time catches up to everyone.
100%.
Even Brady this year has been struggling now. He
Yeah.
missed a couple weeks of practice.
That's just because he has issues at home. That's fine.
Giselle doesn't want him to be fine.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Well, kids are going to school, right? Kids just started school. Tom's got to be home, you know?
Okay, so that's our MVPs. Why don't we get into what's going on with the boys of summer?
Boys of summer. Everybody's excited about this, right? The old Blue Jays up here, rocking the old Raptors shirt here tonight too, because they played a exhibition game tonight. They beat the Utah Jazz.
So throw a Leafs jacket over top of that, just to complete the trifecta. Then
might as well. Yeah. Anyway, the Toronto Blue Jays, on a day off, clinched a playoff berth in the 2022 season.
That's how good they are.
That is amazing. I was loving that. Thought that was pretty sweet. Thank you for the help.
Yeah, and you know where it came from?
Baltimore, but whoever beat them.
Yeah. No, it was Boston that beat Boston beat Baltimore.
Double whammy. So Jays have a record currently. This is Sunday that we are recording this, of 90-69, which is just 3 games to go. They are +4 in the wild card race, so they are leading that motherfucker. The Mariners behind at 1.5 games above the last spot, which is the Rays, and they are obviously at 0.
So I guess the Jays are fairly close to clinching that number 1 wild card then.
Pretty much.
Yeah, it's going to depend. I bet you, I don't know 100%. I'll have to take a look at it, but if the Jays win and the Mariners lose, that'll be it in the next game. So
it doesn't even matter. I think if it stays the same, it's too. Well, I guess it depends on. Yeah,
right.
I guess Mariners have like a doubleheader or something maybe.
The Mariners do have a doubleheader.
Mm-hmm.
I read that somewhere that they do have a doubleheader tomorrow. I believe
4 games left.
Yeah. So
go ahead.
So, but they have a very good chance, the Jays, to win the AL wildcard race, which puts them in the 4 spot, which I kept getting confused, but makes them play the 5 spot in the first wildcard. The 6 spot plays a 3rd, which is weird to me, but not in actuality. It's not weird because it's always top and bottom, but I don't know. I just get confused with this one.
Well, it is a fucking big shakeup. So just because it's probably good facts for everyone else that's listening. So just
maybe I'll learn something here. Come on, Pete, tell me.
Just to quickly lay down the way this works now. The top 2 divisional seeds get a bye. The 3rd divisional seed plays the bottom wildcard team.
Right.
And the top 2 wildcard seeds play each other.
Right. And this is because they went from 10 teams to 12 teams in the playoffs with the new CBA.
And now the wildcard is not a game, it's a 3-game series. And whoever's the higher seed in those wild card series plays all 3 games at their home field.
That's insane.
Yeah.
To me, that is almost unfair to the away team.
So be the higher seed.
I know.
I agree with that.
No, I get it. I get it. But you're not giving a team 1 home.
It does seem kind of ignorant. Maybe not unfair, but just ignorant. Like,
but think of it too.
The fans of the Rays or the Mariners, they're just like,
okay, but think of it too. Before this time, it was just 1 game. And home field had before.
At least you got 3 now. Yeah.
And for the away team too, I get it. Like, it sucks you have to play home, but at the same time, you're not flying to one location because baseball plays back to back. So you can't get your schedule going and everything like that. So like it makes it a little bit more difficult flipping back and forth, I think. And
you'd go back to back and then you'd have a day off likely, and then
Maybe,
play the third
maybe
one.
because like we're playing into October now because the season started late, right? So and we're still getting that 162 game season in, so it's causing a lot of issues. So I kind of like that it's just all home. It'd be curious to see if it changes next year. I doubt it, but it would be curious because like I said, like they're already in October, they're still playing regular season. Typically playoffs start right now, right?
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure that the Rays, they cannot catch the Jays, which means that we can only finish in 5th at worst. And that's very good because I don't want to go to the Trop. I don't want to play any games in Tampa because it's a tough stadium to play. And I know there's during regular season, there's no fans. In the playoffs, there's usually fans, but it is just a tough stadium to play in.
It's a tough stadium to field in. Everyone's
right. That's what I mean. There. So that's why I don't want any part of that. So for them to always be below us in the standings, although it doesn't reseed coming up, it at least separates us until the finals.
Yeah.
The finals of the conference championship. So
yeah. So and the if it all goes to shit against Baltimore in this upcoming series and we end up having to play Seattle at home, like at their end in Seattle,
it'll be a home game anyway.
It's exactly what I was going to say. At least it's back in home 2.0 for the Blue Jays because all the fans in the West can't afford to come to Toronto and buy a ticket.
They will 100%
cheaper to go to Seattle.
It's not far from Vancouver, right?
So, yeah. So there's that.
Definitely don't want any part of that Trop though. So
yeah.
Anyway, so like I said, 90 wins. It's always great for your team to get 90 wins. They've got 3 games to go, so we can get up to 93 wins. And if I look back at my magic 8 ball and I see if I shake it and ask for episode 24, Jesse said that the Jays were going to get 93 wins. So they need to win out for Jesse to come true. If I shake it again and say episode 14, he said they were going to get 101 wins. A little bit off that, but he can still
swing and a miss.
We
were all over of what we all thought they were going to win more games. So I thought 97. Jesse 101. Pete, you thought 100 games they would win. And Kev thought 102. We obviously know that is impossible and not going to happen now. So then we regrouped. We thought again. Jess, you had ended up with 93 is what you said they were going to win. And as I said, they had to win out for you to catch that. I was next with 92, so we can get 1L here against Baltimore. Pete, you had 91, so just 1 W. They got to lose twice, though, for you to win that bad boy. And
I hope I lose.
Kev needs to go 0-3 over the last 3 games here for him to get that. No, that's not for points or anything, just for shits and giggles guessing.
It's a bit wild, though, that we're here with 3 games left, and we're all still able to have our guess be correct from episode 24.
The second guess. Yeah, the second guess.
Yeah. But that was still a long time ago.
I mean, and mine wasn't, well, it wasn't 10 weeks, that's for sure. It was definitely longer than 10 weeks because the season is much longer.
It was probably at the All-Star break or some shit like that.
Yeah, you're probably right.
We might have taken a look at it or something.
Yeah. And if I recall how we got to those numbers, I started the trend of picking exactly how many wins they had last season.
The previous, yep.
Even though they missed the playoffs. And fucking everyone just went prices right on me and fucking took on them.
I mean,
above and below.
Yeah.
I think the projection said though it would be right around this area.
Too. Yeah.
So, well, if you look at it between episode 14 and episode 24, I'm the closest. I was only a 5-game difference here, and I still have a chance to pull out this.
Like we said, it's price is right. Doesn't matter.
Point. No, you're right. It has to be exactly 92 for me to win. But I feel good about 92, going 2-1 over the last 2 games, and
well, it all depends too after that. If it's a doubleheader tomorrow or whenever that doubleheader is, like. What happens if Seattle loses the first game? You think Toronto changes something?
Yeah, maybe. Yep. Yeah, fair enough. Actually, Sardbart in the they're gonna be playing in the wild card. Who did they start in game 1?
Oh, Manoa.
Yeah,
You go Manoa?
100%.
You go Stripling in game 2, or do you go Gossman in game 2?
Gossman.
Oh, I go
Gossman.
Gossman. Yeah.
See, I think I go Stripling. He's been playing great, and
He
then
has
you
been
have
good.
you have Gossman in game 3 if you need it, right?
Yeah, but you don't want to go to game 3. You want to
Yeah.
fucking go for the jugular when
You're
you got
still
it.
at home though.
Ah,
I don't know, man.
I'd go pocket aces all day
And
long.
yeah, I get you. So we're not even Barrios. Like Barrios is not even in the question.
He's been shit, man.
I know he has, but so you're saying he's the number 4 guy right now?
Yes.
Well, that's crazy, eh? Like
Which, to be fair, the reason we were so high in our early projections,
yeah.
it was supposed to be Manoa and Gossman, like came true, but also Barrios and Ryu were supposed to be. There were supposed to be 4 real good starters in this rotation.
I don't think we were that high on Rio.
No.
It was, but we were much higher on Brios.
Yeah.
Much like I would honestly say like Brios and Gosman were gonna be your aces. I expected Manoa to do well. I didn't expect him to do fucking almost be like a Cy Young Award winner. Like he's fucking killing it. Like that was who the first 2 I thought we were gonna go with, and then Manoa would be our 3rd, and then Rio is Rio.
Yeah.
And then we knew that fucking
And then
Kikuchi was
number 5 would be whoever.
I remember Jesse, you and I both were like, this is at best a meh signing for us. And he was worse than meh.
Yeah, he was pretty awful.
The only time was when we had that little spell where the Jays used up a lot of bullpen guys and the starters weren't doing great and we needed a long man. And we had Kikuchi in the pen. We're like, all right, go fucking throw 4 innings and we'll just take a L in this game.
Well, I think we predicted Kikuchi because he could strike people out. That he was going to be like kind of like not Robbie Ray, but like Robbie Ray strikes a lot of people out, but he throws really hard. So there's a lot of hard contact after it, and that's the same way that Kikuchi was, but he couldn't get away from that hard contact. Same with Brios. Brios had a lot of hard contact this year, which I don't think I've really ever seen from him ever. So it's kind of weird.
Yeah, hopefully it's just a down year for him and he can bounce back because
it needs to be.
He's not.
We signed him to a big fucking contract.
What? And he's not played like he historically has. So either
I think it's a one-off.
Yeah.
Like if you actually look at his stats too, he has a lot of quality starts too. So he's either fucking like on fire or just flaming out.
Yeah.
And he could be unlucky too, right? With who knows, maybe the offense was not hitting when he's losing 1 or 2-0 games. Like
no, man, his ERA is fucking.
It's like it was like over 5 for most of the year.
Well, he needs to get his shit together.
Yeah, for sure. He will for the playoffs. That's all that matters.
Hopefully, we need it.
All right, so let's assume the Jays win this wild card and they are the home team versus either Tampa or Seattle, which looks like at this point it's going to be Seattle. Who would you prefer to play? Tampa or Seattle?
Seattle. 100% Seattle.
Any one specific reason?
We aren't that hot against Tampa, and we've had issues with them before multiple times. So
not that hot against Seattle either, man.
I don't even know what our record is against them. I just know that like
it's losing.
I don't. Okay, fair enough. I just don't want any noise.
It is against Tampa too.
Raiders.
Yeah, I know.
I just don't want any of the Rays. That's all. Like the Rays have pitching, tons and tons of pitching, whereas the Mariners, not so much. And I like a revenge game against Robbie Ray.
I'm going to disagree. I'm going to say Tampa, simply because they're in the division. We know them better. Realistically, true. I think we can beat either team, especially in a 3-game series, because I think with Manoa and Gossman getting 2 of the starts, that might be all you need. And Stripling, like you said, Josh, he can handle a start as well, and you're not worried. I think the Jays are in a good position to win a 3-game series, especially with all 3 games at the Rogers Center. So I'm not particularly concerned with either team. I worry a little bit more about the series following, where you got to get past your top 3 starting pitchers. That's where I worry.
I would prefer to play Seattle. Tampa has always, like you said, just they've kind of been an Achilles heel almost for the Jays. They have a tough time beating them. Now, a lot of that has to do with playing at the Trop, but they also have a guy named Randy Rosarena who always lights it up around this time of year.
Oh yeah, I forgot about him.
Like, they also have Wander Franco, who is a ridiculously good player, among all these others. And now, yes, they are missing Shane McClanahan, who would be you do not want to face him in a playoff game.
Oh, he's not playing.
He's been hurt.
Oh, I'm
yeah,
baseball right now.
Yeah.
On them.
He is not, he's definitely been out. So he is not the number one dude there. I don't know their pitching staff that great. Shane Boz, but I don't know if he's pitching either right now. I think he might be.
He's a rookie though. I don't know if he'd be the number 1 at this point.
Well, no, I'm just saying. Like I said, I don't know any of their other pitchers.
Yeah.
Does Blake Snell still play pitch for them?
No,
I don't know.
Plays for
San Diego now. Yeah. So
the hard part I find with Tampa is that they seem to have fucking relievers for days.
Well, the relievers are awesome too.
Yeah, well, exactly. That's what I mean.
Yeah. It's a lot of those are a lot of starters that didn't pan out, right? And they got fucking fire for arms, and so that's why. Yeah, that is definitely why I want to stay away from Tampa. And Seattle's definitely, they're a younger team for sure. And
so they have some young players. They probably got close to a rookie of the year there with J-Rod. But another thing too is Seattle doesn't have any playoff experience.
Right, that's what I mean.
They fucking just clinched, and it's been years and years, over I think 2 decades. I think it was 2001 the last time, or not 2001. Yeah, maybe 2001.
Yeah,
last time
I think it was
clinched.
01. I think is when they clinched last. I think.
Yeah, and they clinched this time on a walk-off home run. That was really cool.
Oh yeah, it was Raleigh or some shit like that. The catcher.
Yeah, I forget the guy's name, but yeah, that's cool.
All right,
but still, I'd rather play Seattle. 100%.
So 2 on Seattle, 1 on Tampa for that.
The 2 are right, one's wrong.
So we know
you guys are just cowards. That's all.
Yeah. We basically know who is going to be in the playoffs. We just don't know the final seedings in both the AL and NL. But is there a surprise team for you guys to watch out for, type thing, on either the NL or the AL? And I'm not. It's got to specifically be a wild card team, because you can't say that you watch out for Houston or watch out for the Yankees and the Dodgers, right?
Watch out for them Dodgers.
We know those are top 4 teams. Are the top 4 teams. Now, that being said, it's really only top 3 teams, because we don't know who the top 4 team, the second team in the NL, is going to be. It could either be the Mets or the Braves, and I'm not 100% sure, but I think the Braves might have won today, which was huge because they're playing against each other.
They're 1 game up.
Right. So that will probably seal the deal as the Braves being the number 3 seed, or sorry, the number 2 seed in the NL.
Yeah. Well,
it depends on. Well, I guess they still have 3 games or whatever, but
right. So there's lots to decide.
But as long as the Braves do as good as the Mets, they're going to win. So, but either are any of teams that you guys think just watch out for. These guys are going to be a surprise team.
St. Louis. I think they got a lot of talent. They got experience. And I wouldn't be surprised if they made it far or deep into the NL postseason.
Just to the NL postseason?
Well, I'm just saying, like you said, you can't go for the top teams or whatever. That would be my team. That I think that could make a run to the World Series for sure.
Well, I'm gonna fucking contradict myself just for fun. So, despite saying I'd rather play them than the Mariners, I think the Tampa Bay Rays, they have a good matchup being the final wildcard team in the AL, because you get to play against fucking Cleveland.
Yeah. You're going to run into Bieber no matter what, but
yeah, but that's a very winnable series. And then you probably move on to play the Yankees in the DS. That's a team you know well. They might be able to pull off the upset there. And then you got the championship series, and who knows what might happen.
No, the second round is 7-game series and back and forth like normal. Am I correct there?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure the DS and the CS,
It's
along
not a
with World
5-game series. I
I-
thought it was a 5-game.
I thought there were 7 now, but I could be wrong.
No,
Right,
it's
I'm gonna challenge you. I'm gonna say
it's,
five.
it is. It's best of 5.
Still? Are you
Yeah.
sure? The
I'm ready.
DS,
Okay.
the
There.
CS,
I gotta-
and the World Series are 7?
This is good. Josh is down -2.
The CS.
I thought it was. I'm pretty sure I read it today that they were 7s.
All I know is I'm reading a website that's MLB.com. And it's
Shit.
and it says the AL Division Series starts October 11th, best of 5 format.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well, that is fucking poopy. I have lost 2 points already today. Fuck.
Mamma mia.
I'm pretty sure I lost other points on this playoff format. I'm like the old boys club. I can't fucking keep it this one straight. Fucks.
Well, it's all fucking new, so don't be too hard on yourself.
Too late, man. This is bullshit.
All right.
All right. So you say the Rays. Jesse said the Cardinals. And for me, it's the Mets. I know that these guys could still technically win the their division or over the Braves. It's going to be a lot more difficult now, but they will finish as the number 4 seed likely, which gives them that home field advantage versus the Padres. The Padres are good, but they are not, in my opinion, as good as the Mets this year. And I think that the Mets are going to be a sneaky team. You got Pete Alonso, who I know Jesse's got a hard on for, but he's a great 1B, and he can smash the ball. They've got a bunch of other players in Marte, and DeGrom isn't still there, is he?
He fucking is, and he's probably the best pitcher
There
still
you
in the
go.
league if he wasn't fucking hurt all the time.
Yeah. So these guys are going to be a tough one to
That's
go
a good
through.
pick. Fuck.
Yeah.
I kind of missed that one, but like
I mean, I don't know how surprising it is, though. Like, they're probably going to be a 100-win team by the time the season done.
Right. But I had to, cap it at something and saying you had to be a wild card team, or
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I could have said you had to have 93 wins or less. Like, it just wouldn't give enough options. So
no, but that's a really great team. And you named a bunch of guys. Scherzer's still there.
Yep.
So they got pitching and they got offense.
Lindor is there too, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Like
So
I said, man, they got
massive
lots
team.
of talent. Lots of talent. Yeah, they could be a wild card. I don't know for sure. Like as in not just being a wild card, but like being something that could destroy our brackets there if we don't pick them.
Exactly. All right, so we have to give our World Series picks because the playoffs are going to start on Friday, and we won't be on at earliest until next Sunday. So we have to give our picks here. Unfortunately, Kev is not here, and
What a bitch.
I'm not sure if we messaged him to say, hey, who the fuck's your pick? But we didn't get a pick, so Kev's out on this one. But who do you guys got? Who's your pick?
We'll have them fucking send a message like tomorrow or some shit like that.
Before we give him the files to edit?
Yeah. Before you get these.
he'll splice himself in.
Yeah. So who you guys got? Just as a recap, myself, Kevin, and Pete all said the Jays were going to win the World Series in episode 14. And Jess, I think we deduced that you said the Brewers were going to win.
I said I would pick them, but everyone else picked them, so I went different.
What a
we gotta have some controversy.
Yeah. Well, the controversy is when you look back at episode 14's documents, somebody changed your pick and said wrong on it. And it was in caps. And then the next pick was also in caps, and it said Blue Jays, but beside that was Peter. So my guess is it was Pete.
Peter's changing documents.
So Pete, just for the record, next time just write wrong beside his pick.
No.
We still have his pick.
You got to forge documents. Well,
he's just afraid of me picking the right one, although it did not happen this year at all. I don't even know if they still have a chance to get in. I don't think they do.
No, I think it's maybe.
I think it's the Padres that they were playing against that were the closest ones for the last wild card spot.
Let's see what we got here. The Phillies are playing or like fighting against to get in the last wild card.
Oh, so it's the Phillies,
and the Phillies are 2 games up on the Brew Crew for the last
they
spot. That's tough. Yeah.
Sweep the next.
Phillies need to lose all 3 basically. Yeah, they have to.
Depending
on head to head. Yep.
Yep.
Or tie, whatever the tiebreaker is. So
they just need to win the series this time.
So you're not rolling with the Brewers this time.
No. I'm gonna go with my pick from last year. I'm gonna go with the Braves.
It's not a bad pick.
Now I didn't pick them to win the bracket last year, which I don't think I won the bracket last year. I think Kev may have gotten it.
I think Kev did, yeah.
But I did pick the Braves to win.
You diversified big time.
Yeah. I'm doing it again. And now I got tons of faith in them.
There you go.
So I believe in them. They're a great team. Acuna's back. It wasn't there last year, and they won the World Series without him. So hopefully they do it again.
Yeah, but Freddie Freeman's gone, so you know.
Where is Freddie Freeman?
Surprise! He's back on fucking LA Dodgers.
Well, funny you say that, because I'm actually going to take my pick from last year too. Didn't work out for me last year, but this year they look even more dominant than they were last year. I wanted to go with the Blue Jays, but I truly think the bats are fine, but I don't think the back end of the starting rotation is good enough to win a World Series with this team.
Oh fuck! You only need 3 starters, man.
After Manoah, it doesn't even fucking matter.
Yeah, 100%.
We need more. I agree with Peter. No, I'm saying we
fuck.
only have Manoah. That's all we have.
I think we're fine with our top 3, man. And whether it's Barrios or Stripling, I think you're not going to go with a guy with a 4. Maybe in our case, because it's Stripling or Barrios, you might, but
obviously his pick is a homer pick.
Well, Pete, if you're done sucking on fucking LA's dick.
Well, I don't think I ever said it, but yes, I'm going with the LA Dodgers. I think they're the best team in baseball this year. I think
they were last year too. Who beat them?
They were last year.
Who beat them in the playoffs last year? I know.
I want to say the Braves, but part of me thinks it's the Giants.
Right. No, okay. It was the Braves. They beat the Giants.
Okay.
That was my team I jumped on. The Braves came and beat the snot out of them.
Yeah.
So you got the Dodgers.
I got the Dodgers. I think despite them being fucking cunts and just spending their way to being a really good team, they're a really good team.
It's part of baseball, man.
Yeah.
For real, it is. It's part of baseball, so I don't mind it.
Yeah.
As much as it can piss you off, the spending when if you're a smaller market team and you have no chance, that's baseball, man.
Yeah.
The thing is though, if you're a smaller market team and in the playoffs, you get way more fans, nationally at least.
Yeah, for sure. All right. So as just you alluded to, I am going homer, and it's maybe, I can't remember, but it might be my pick from last year too. Pretty sure the year before I took the Yankees and I got fucking hell for it. So,
that was last year. That was last year.
Was it last year? No, I don't think it was. Was it?
It was last year.
It was last year. All right. Anyway, so I'm sticking with the homers. I'm going with the Jays. The boys are heating up. We've got, Springer he's an October beast, and he is starting to heat up. You got Teoscar, who has been on fire over the last couple games.
2 homers today. He's looking real good.
Didn't he hit one yesterday too? Pretty sure.
Maybe.
So you got just those 2 guys. Obviously, you got Vladdy and Bull. who are always a threat at the plate at any given time. Bull was fucking super hot throughout September. Best player in the league.
Yeah, hit over 400, I think, in September.
Yeah, it was like 426, and the next guy was 407. It was Judge. It was something like that.
Jansen looks good.
They're just, the sticks are looking phenomenal. The defense
Kirk is good.
Yeah, like the defense is still solid. Yes, the pitching, like you said, Pete, the back end of the rotation, but three
Plus
pitching
the relievers too, man.
Well, the relievers has been pretty fucking good. No qualms on them either, right? So I'm good with rolling.
But is it World Series good?
Dude, in the World Series, you go with three pitchers.
Well, I'm talking all the way to the World Series.
You pretty much go with three pitchers, and the odd time you're going to put in that fourth guy. Right now, we have two superstars, and then you've got Barrios and Stripling, who right now I trust Stripling more. So he's my number 3. And then if I'm going to once I get to a 7-game series, that's when Barrios gets a start. I mean, maybe in a game 4 situation in a 5-game series, but I think I bring back Manoah or whoever you're starting out with. Right.
Yeah.
You still have to get the 5 days in, man. Like,
well, is there always a day off in between games?
There will
be. No. Like typically it's back to back, and then sometimes it's another 3 games in a row every day. So
like a regular,
you need 5 days for sure. And Barrios, as much as we've given him shit, he is that fourth guy, and you will use him as a starter. I guarantee it. If they go as far as what you're saying.
Right, but there's also going to be a delay between series. So potentially, right? Like not everybody plays on the first day. I guess the AL does, and then the NL plays the next day usually. That's usually how they do the television, the schedule and whatnot. So
they play at different times, but sometimes they play the same day.
Yeah. Oh yeah, like I mean all the AL usually plays one day, I think, and then all the NL plays the following days on the usual.
But then it's back to back too.
Right, then you play the next day again. But they have a previously, because they traveled, they would have the extra day rest before game 3 in a 3-game series or a 5-game series.
Well, okay, so as long as the Jays don't say the Jays go 3 games, you have 1 day. It's probably back to back to back because it's all home games. It's probably 3 in a row.
It's starting on a Friday, so
you might have a day off.
Or Sunday.
You might have a day off, or you might have. You're not going to put Manoah back in. You're going to have to fucking.
Oh, I put Manoah back in. I put him back in on 4 days rest all day long.
I just don't want to wreck his arm, man.
He's got 3 or 4 more starts, man. Like maybe a few more than that, but this is maybe you push it off because you have the Barrios. But if you've only got 3 guys that are your, on your roster, like we have kind of that bonus, if you will, that you can pull out an ace in your 4th spot.
Oh, but I do not trust Barrios in a playoff game.
But you're gonna have to play him, is what I'm saying.
I mean, eventually, but
if you follow that logic,
and that's why I picked the Dodgers.
Anyway, like you said, P, you're on the Dodgers, which is wrong. Jesse, you're on the Braves, which is wrong, and I'm on the BJs, which is definitely right. And it's not going to make a difference because they're going to put up fucking 13 runs a game or something stupid. It won't be that many.
Let's hope. Let's hope.
And the pitching won't make a difference.
Keep in mind they're playing playoff pitching too.
Oh, I know.
You're not the only team that gets to play your fucking best starters.
They're definitely not putting up 13 runs a game average. No fucking way. All right, guys. Lastly, I just want to talk about MVP, as we had talked about it in hockey and who we thought was going to be the MVP at the beginning before the puck had dropped. We are now 3 games away from being done the MLB season. Who do you think are your MVP winners in the AL and NL this season?
Well, let's just start with AL. I'm going to go with Ohtani again. This guy is a phenomenal 2-way player. This season, his bat was still there. Wasn't as good as last year, but his pitching came to term this year. He is the only player to be able to strike out 200 batters while hitting 30 home runs ever in MLB history.
I mean, that's pretty good.
He is an unreal player. It's not even, he's not playing on the same tier as everyone else because it's not fair what he's doing, because he can do everything. That's why he will be MVP, and for the AL at least. He's unreal. And the problem is, like, for whatever reason, they got two MVPs there. Trout, who needs to stay healthy, but LA can't do anything. Pujols was there last year, and they couldn't do anything. Like, I don't know.
Challenge. Pujols was he was a Dodger last year.
He was traded to the Dodgers, but he started with LA.
Oh, shit. I guess that's a wash, isn't it? If it is, he was both an Angel and a Dodger.
I suppose, but he was traded to the Dodgers. I'm pretty sure he was traded to the Dodgers, but he started with Anaheim. I guess I said LA, but Anaheim.
Well, whatever, same difference. No, I think they're LA again. Is this another challenge point? I'm pretty sure they're the LA Angels again.
Yeah, you're right. They are the LA Dodgers or LA Angels. Well, someone leave that. But that's why I think Ohtani's there, because he's just an unreal player. As historic as a season as Judge has had, he's also a Yankee, so there's a bit of bias there.
I mean, I agree with you, Jesse, that Ohtani is doing things that no one else, not named Babe Ruth, I guess not even named Babe Ruth, is able to do. He is a different player. But he was the MVP last year. And
gonna get it this year.
I don't think what he's doing this year is significantly different than what he did last year. Might be a little better. But last year, there wasn't an Aaron Judge hitting 61. Is he at 62 yet? Or is he still at 61?
61, because he's a bitch and can't hit any more home runs.
What a
struck
bitch.
out 3 times today. So it wasn't even like people were trying to walk him. He fucking got out. Like, that's what the Jays were trying to do. They were like, I don't want
this.
Yeah, no part of them. Yeah, for sure.
I mean, the 61 did happen against the Jays, but still.
Yeah. Tim Mays' name will last forever in history now.
So Aaron Judge, in some people's view, is now the all-time, at least tied for the all-time home run crown.
Mm-hmm. Because steroids.
Exactly, because he is doing it outside of the steroid era. And I forget the guy's name. I should know the guy's name, but the other guy did it. Roger Maris, who had 61. 61 years ago in 1961. So there's 61s all over the place. Kevin would love that. I can't believe he missed today's show.
What a bitch.
Was he born in 61?
Around there. Maybe a little
after. It's not that old.
But yeah, so Jesse, you're wrong. And it's going to be Aaron Judge, who is the AL MVP. It has to be. It has to be.
No.
It doesn't matter what Ohtani is doing.
Yeah.
There's 61 home runs. The most ever hit in the American League.
Non-steroid.
Was hit ever in the American League. Steroids or not.
Oh yeah, because it was always fucking McGuire and
Sosa and McGuire and Bonds.
Yeah.
They all played in the NL.
Yeah.
When you at least tie, if he doesn't break the record for most home runs in your league ever, you win the MVP.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yep. Keep it short and sweet. I agree 100%. There's no chance that Ohtani goes back to back. Although what he is doing is still crazy. It's still incredibly impressive. If Ohtani came into this year and he didn't win the MVP last year, then it's a way closer race.
Yeah.
Because it's the first time we've seen it, but we saw it last year. It doesn't take away from it at all what he's doing. But like you said, Pete, that 61 is pretty intense. It's leans in your favor for sure.
It's wild what he's doing for sure, and it's historic what he's doing. He is the first player ever to have 60 plus home runs, 90 walks, 15 stolen bases as well, and he's just been amazing for sure, and he's doing it in a contract year too, which is the wildest part.
Man, that dude is
and
gonna
like
get
we were
paid
talking
so much fucking money.
we were talking about the beginning of the year. Like, don't get me wrong, I respect Judge. He is a Yankee, and he'll probably continue to be a Yankee.
Yeah.
But he refused what they were going to pay him. And we all said, if he stays healthy, this guy is going to get paid out of the wazoo. Because that was his main thing, is if he can stay healthy. And that's what he's done. He can still get the triple crown. It is still possible to get the triple crown. And with doing that, like we were talking about last year, when Vladdy was close to getting the triple crown against Ohtani for the MVP, who gets it?
Well, at that point, that's tough.
We were talking about it constantly about what was going to happen there. So,
but Vladdy did not historically change the record book.
No, he could have. He could have probably been like, I think it would probably like the youngest triple crown winner ever.
Okay, but that's that's maybe a little obscure too. Like this is most home runs ever American League. This guy's name, you win the award. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, well, this guy also is doing ridiculous things.
Doesn't matter.
Pitching wise, well, he's also still hitting.
Doesn't matter.
He's still top 10 in the MLB in RBIs. I don't think about home runs, but
that's great.
He's top 6 in strikeouts, in ERA. Like, that is an MVP. That is an MVP. He does everything that you need for a team, and that's what he does.
In most seasons, that is a clear MVP. But when the record books get rewritten, sorry about your timing.
He's already rewriting records. I already said that already. He's rewriting records already, bud.
Not major.
Like, what are you talking about?
I'm
the argument is the dumbest one you could have said.
Man,
when you're rewriting it, okay, he's doing it too.
No, I'm talking major records. Like,
it is a major record. No one's ever done it. What he's done.
No, it doesn't. It's still obscure what you're talking about.
But no one's ever done it.
That's fine. But when you hit the most home runs ever in your league, ever, you win.
Tied.
He's tied. Yes.
He's tied. He's not. He don't give him the fucking crown.
He's tied for the most ever. Yes.
Do you think he gets 62?
I think so.
I think it's 3 games.
I bet you.
Who do they?
I bet
play?
you they'll be challenging him to do it. That's probably what happened last night.
He's been on pace this season for what? Well, basically won every other game.
Play the Texas Rangers.
Ish.
What the fuck? How do they play the Texas Rangers in the last series of the fucking season? I guess we have 5 in the division, so somebody's got to play an off team.
Yeah.
I don't like that for the fucking Yankees. They should at least have to play the fucking Red Sox.
Yeah, it should be the Orioles that are playing someone else.
Yeah, really. Although it'd be making it more interesting if we were playing Tampa.
Yeah. Again, we just played them like fucking 18 times or some shit.
19.
All right.
19 games a year.
I mean, like last week.
All right, NL. Let's get into NL. We've already been talking for an hour, for fuck's sakes, about baseball, boys. Holy Christ.
Yeah, it's Josh's topic, so that's
sorry, my bad.
But I don't think it's your fault this time.
I mean, I'm definitely part of it.
Jesse's just wrong about Ohtani.
Team effort.
So for me in the NL, it's got to be Paul Goldschmidt. You were talking Triple Crown earlier, Jesse. This guy, he's not in the running anymore, but at one point this season he was. He had a strong chance of getting the Triple Crown. He is just having a fantastic year, and I think he's probably the choice for the MVP in the NL, leading in slugging percentage by a wide margin. I think Goldschmidt's the guy.
I mean, it's not a horrible pick. It's not a horrible pick. He's been on fire all year. And he's a great player. Great player. And it goes along with Jesse's watch out for the Cardinals because he is they got two hot corners there in Cleveland. Those two boys, they are.
You mean St. Louis?
Yes.
What did I say?
Cleveland. You were thinking hot in Cleveland, but it's okay.
I was thinking Cardinals for some reason. Maybe I said Cleveland. I don't know. Sorry, boys. Thanks for not challenging me. I'm losing another point, but yeah, they're going to be that. Those are two great players on the corner there, and I don't know if you can. Is there anybody better in the league that combo? First and third.
Jays are all right.
No, in that league.
Okay.
Even across the pros, the whole league. Like
Chapman over there.
Chapman's a phenomenal defensive player, but he's not the
So he
top end
doesn't have the
offensive
stick,
player, right?
yeah.
He's been very good this year, but
I think he has got like the second most home runs for the Jays. He has hit.
I think you're right. Yeah, like I said, but he's not Goldschmidt.
He doesn't have an
Arenado,
average. He doesn't have an average. No, no, for sure.
I mean,
so you might be right. I'm thinking Freddie Freeman and Tucker maybe, but at the same time,
Turner, yeah.
Or Tucker Turner, yeah.
Matt Olson and Riley maybe in Atlanta.
Maybe that's more like I would say that would challenge
Machado and who knows who else on first. Devers and who knows who else on first in Boston.
I'm gonna go with Pete Alonso. He has had a great year. Still a young guy. Most RBIs in the league across the MLB, even more than Judge.
Yep.
So he's been very good. Not the most home runs in the NL, but he has been a superstar as getting that run producing that he needs to be. I think that he'll be there. Defensively, I'm honestly not sure, but if you typically don't hear about people, it means that you're pretty good defensively.
If you're not a liability, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't answer first base. Any can play first base.
Yep. Spina, if you're listening, we're not talking about you, but we're looking at you.
So I got Alonso there. He's been great. And he can still catch Schwarber for the most home runs in the NL too. So I think
that's going to be tough. Man.
He's not going to get 4
in 3 games, and Schwarber hits 0.
Oh, is it 4? I thought it was 3. Sorry,
no, that's tough, man. That's tough.
It's unlikely then. Yeah, it was a stretch to me for being that bit. Schwarber strikes out a ton.
Yeah.
So does Alonso, but he can, when runners are on the base, he produces.
So both of you guys, those are definitely good picks. Jess, your Alonso pick goes along with my watch out for the Mets. He is a big part of that. Obviously, he didn't win it this year, but he is a home run derby champion, and he is phenomenal in that. And this boy can hit balls out. And obviously, hitting them out 60-mile-an-hour fastballs versus 90-mile-an-hour fastballs is a whole lot different. But I do like Pete Alonso. But I think it's going to be crazy this year. I think the MVP is going to be a pitcher, and just a pitcher, not a pitcher and a hitter. This is going to be my best fantasy player, I think, this year. Sandy, I call him Alcantara because that's how it fucking spelled, but apparently it's Alcantara. That's who I think is going to win. He was great. Multiple complete games this year. He was lights out all year for a horrible team. Obviously, they are the the Miami Marlins are a young team, and they are rebuilding and trying to get good and trying to
rebuilding forever.
Right, and that's a big thing, right? They're trying to build from within, and they have a lot of nice, good pieces, but they're still missing a bunch of pieces, and that's why they're still having some trouble. But this guy, to me, he's the best pitcher in the league. And that's for me. That's what I think. And if you're the best pitcher in all of the league, and there was nobody for me that jumped out offensively like crazy in the NL. So like Judge, like you said, Peter, he jumps out at you. That's when you hit the most home runs ever in the AL, even though it's just a tie, you're probably going to get the award. This guy, there's nobody been even close in terms of pitching, in my opinion, in the NL, and there's nobody been offensively as good as Alcantara has been defensively. That's why I think it's going to win the Cy Young, and I think it's going to be a crazy stretch, because it never happens for a pitcher, but it's going to happen, and Alcantara is going to be the NL MVP. Geez, imagine if we're rolling into the MVP segment right now.
Someone fucked up.
Hey, we rolled from the NHL MVP into the fucking MVP segment. Come on now.
So we're pretty good.
The NHL MVP is not gonna happen for like fucking 9 months.
Yeah.
All right, Jess. We got to talk about one of our favorite sports. This is a great 21 weeks of fucking the year coming up. Is it 21 or 22 weeks now? Ooh. It must be 22 weeks.
18,
now.
but you also have a week in between for the I don't even know if they're doing the Pro Bowl this year.
No, they're not. They've changed it
canceled
up
forever.
It's
right?
like it's Pro Bowl games now. It's more like it's more like dodgeball and shit like that, like skills competition, which is way cooler.
That's way better. That's way better.
We should have talked about that. But anyway, NFL. Jesse, start us up.
And baseball took too long, so you got 7 minutes. Go.
My bad.
NFL is back.
Woo.
And we've missed a month of it. But we're back, and there's only one undefeated team now. The Philadelphia Eagles.
Huh?
Yeah. There's been it's been a great year so far for the most part for close games. Offense is way down compared to last year. Points scored at least. But there's been a lot of close games, and that's typically what you want. And there's only been a couple that I think that have been forced by the refs, and that's what we don't want. But so the Eagles are undefeated, and they have beaten the Lions, which were the second overall pick, the Vikings, the Jags, who were the first overall pick this year, and the Commanders. Now, the Vikings is the only team after today that they've played that it has a winning record. The remainder of the schedule has the Cowgirls, Packers, and Giants with the only winning record the rest of the way. They play the Giants and Cowgirls twice. So my question to you guys is, do you think the Eagles are a contender?
I don't know if I want to say this, but yes, I think they are.
They're, when I mean a contender, I mean like, are they contender for the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Not just the playoffs.
Yeah. Okay. The way that they've been playing, Jalen Hurts has been phenomenal. He came from behind today to get a W. I didn't believe it. There was, I'm in 4 different fantasy leagues. Jalen Hurts was my quarterback in one of them on an auto draft. I was unable to make the draft. It was the only one that I had an auto draft. And I was like, for fuck's sakes, I was so mad. And I had a buddy tell me that not to trust him, like get another quarterback, pick somebody else up. And I realized that we're only 4 weeks into it, but he has been solid. He's looked really good running and passing the ball. The defense has been really good. Some of the vets have said that this is the best defense that they have been on. And if we remember back, the defense of the Eagles used to be pretty good, a handful of years ago. So for the way that they've been playing, and I looked for them to continue that. Again, like you said, just look at this schedule. Now, I realize that does not necessarily make them, if they're playing weaker teams throughout the regular season and getting in there with 10 wins, it doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be a contender in the playoffs. But I really do think that these Philadelphia Eagles are going to win the NFC East, and they're gonna do pretty good, man. I think they're good. I don't know if they're gonna win. I don't know if they're gonna get through the NFC, and get to the Super Bowl, but they are definitely up there as a contender for me.
I disagree. I don't see any way that they come out of the NFC. I don't see this team being able to beat the Bucks, or as much as I hate to say it, earmuffs, Jesse, the Rams.
I mean, the Bucks have not looked good, period. So
No, but
I don't know.
Hey, they just got 31 points tonight, boys.
Didn't they lose though?
They are losing.
But playoff Brady will show up, and I don't think the Eagles are the team that's going to come out of the NFC. And if they do, which I guess makes them a contender, so fine. But if they go against any of the premier teams out of the AFC, I don't see a chance.
That's fair. But
So
winning doesn't just make you contender. There's multiple teams that are going to be contenders. Those last 4 teams for sure are contenders. So do you think he makes? Yeah. Do you think Hurts and the Eagles make it to the Final Four, or do you think they get bounced before that in the NFC?
Yeah, I think they get bounced before that. I think, like Jesse said, they got an easy schedule so far. I think,
but it seems like they have an easy schedule going through. So maybe what if they get the bye? Right? What if?
Sure, but you're still going to play a good team. And
it won't be the Bears, I'll tell you that much.
They won't be the Bears, no. I don't see it. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think they're pretenders so far.
They're not even pretenders. They're garbage. Oh, sorry. I was talking about the Bears. You're talking about the fucking Eagles. My bad.
To Josh's point, I think the Eagles have looked great. Again, it's against bad teams, but a win's a win. If you look good against a bad team, it doesn't matter as long as you get that W. The only guys that I think that the Eagles will be scared of, I guess you could say the Cowgirls and the Packers, because they have to play them twice. It's a divisional game with the Cowgirls. And I'm thinking that Dak will be back for both those games, as long as he doesn't get hurt again. Now, the Cowgirls do have Cooper Rush, who is, after today, 4-0 as a starter.
Woo!
He's played some pretty garbage teams too, so it's up in the air right now. Like I like Philly's D. Like you said today, they came from behind in a wet game, so it's difficult to do that. He did throw a pick, pretty awful one that was returned for a touchdown today. But the Jags couldn't take advantage because that defense just smothered them. Because the NFC there's only like 3 good teams, and that's the Rams, the Bucks, and you can throw in the Eagles. Like the Packers, they're still searching for like wide receivers. They have a decent duo at running back, but they have a great defense too, but they need Aaron Rodgers to get these wide receivers going real quick. So I don't know if they can make it too deep. They really don't have much experience. They were in the playoffs last year, got dummied by the Bucks. Could I see that again this year? Possibly. They need more experience. They're not going to have any experience playing hard teams either. So yeah. Who knows what happens when they get in the playoffs? It might be difficult. For a contender for the Super Bowl, I'm going to say no. Again, bias, Rams. I think they're going to go there. But for a divisional round, I can see them getting there. I can see them winning either on wildcard or super wildcard weekend or getting the bye, because they have such an easy schedule that they could definitely get the number 1 seed. The Rams have a tough one. The Bucks have a real tough schedule too, and so do the Green Bay Packers.
Excuse me.
Right on the point. Thanks, Pete. So
And break.
So yeah, I think besides Yosh, did you say that they're gonna make it to the championship final?
Like not the Super Bowl. I think they're gonna make it to the
NFC
championship game. And I'm on the fence on, because you're right, with the teams that are good or supposed to be good. I'm not even sold on the Bucks being a top team right now. I'm not. They haven't done much. I haven't seen, like, I realize it's Brady, and I realize that, you know, he's going to get better as the season goes on, but man, and like, where's been Cooper Kupp been? Like, I don't even know if the Rams are a top team. They lose tomorrow night. They're mediocre. Like,
been dominating. What are you talking about? He had one bad game.
If they lose tomorrow, they're 2-2, just the same as everybody else in the division. They are, like, don't get me wrong, they definitely are still a good team, and they have definitely a lot of potential. But nobody has stuck out, and we're not talking about the NFC period, except for the Eagles. So
okay,
it's
enough.
early though. It's early.
It is early.
Yeah,
We're 4 weeks into it for sure.
There's also a lot of injuries on the Rams O-line and throughout the Rams
injuries,
man.
And
every team's still with the Bucks. There's been a bunch of. Well, that's the thing.
Sounds like an excuse to me, but
Eagles haven't had any injuries. But when people come back,
not yet.
They'll fucking dominate.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
And like I said, Cooper Kupp has been dominant. He has the record for the most 90-yard games in a row at 15. Do you know who the next closest is?
Jerry Rice.
No, I'm just saying, guess the next number.
Oh.
But is it Jerry Rice?
I don't know.
It would be awesome if it was.
I know it's not.
+1.
I know it's not 14. It's not 13. It's not 12, and it's not 11.
Huh?
Is it 9?
Might be.
10. I think it's 10.
Shit.
I'm just saying, man. He had one bad game, and he dropped a touchdown pass that probably could have put him over 90 yards.
He sucks.
Yeah, once in a while you do that. They still won the game.
Say he's a bitch.
You guys are dumb if you guys think he's a bitch.
Hey, call up Aaron Donald and tell him I need a game out of him tomorrow, okay?
I will, because I need him to fucking wreck these guys, because I hate these guys.
How cool would it be to have a fucking superstar on speed dial though?
Oh yeah,
that'd be all right.
For sure. It doesn't even need to be on speed dial. I'll search for his name throughout my contacts.
If I even get a text message back from AD or Cooper Kupp, I'd be like, my life is I've won life.
You wouldn't even need to get married, right?
Yeah. Why do I continue on the lineage? It's done now. So this week we had some controversy with concussions. So on Sunday, Tua Tagovailoa got smoked. Well, he didn't get really smoked. He got pushed backwards, fell over, and he hit his back of his head on the turf. And he got a little woozy. He got pulled out of the game.
Hello, woozy.
Hello, woozy.
This is against the Bills you're talking about now.
This was against the Bills.
Week 3, yeah, week 3.
Yeah, last Sunday. And yeah, so he was a little messed up. He got up. He looked like he got hit a couple times as a boxer and couldn't stand up for the 10 seconds, and he got knocked out. So they pulled him off. And then this was in the second quarter. Come halftime, he's running back on that field. And he ended up winning the game for Miami against the Bills.
Ooh.
The Super Bowl apparent champs, the Bills.
Yep. They're still going to win it. You can lose the game and win the Super Bowl. No big deal.
But there was a lot of controversy because he did not look like he was okay. They said that why he fell down was because of a back and leg issue. That's what team doctors had said. Fast forward to Thursday night when he's playing. He's playing okay, not as well as he did against the Bills, against Cincinnati. And he took a sack. And again, he hit the back of his head on the turf. And it looked like he had broken his finger. But what happened was he I read up on this. It was like a neurological link, and it's when your fingers like fence, and his hands were like frozen, and his finger was like looked like it was broken, his index finger, and it was on his throwing hand too, but it was just because he had hit his head so hard on the turf.
Yeah, his brain got done fucked up. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
seriously.
So he got pulled from that game, and Twitter went off. Everyone was saying like, "Oh, fucking Miami's so sued."
Well, he left in
So
an
the
ambulance, right?
Well, for sure. So yeah, he went to the hospital there in Cincinnati, and he left that night and flew home with the team. All extremities were working, no problem, and yeah, he was really concussed. And the protocol is for the concussion protocol is if he leaves with a concussion, which they never diagnosed it as that. So that's why he was allowed to come into the game against the Bills. Come back, he won it. So he did his job there, and he was trying to do his job here. And it's Thursday night. He was still a little concussed, but again, he hit the back of his head very, very hard. So there's now new rules and a new protocol for concussion. The NFL and NFLPA have agreed to new parameters of the updated concussion protocols that will rule out players that exhibit gross motor instability, as Tua Tagovailoa did during the Dolphins' Week 3.
As Tua
game.
who?
Tagovailoa.
You nailed it before. You nailed it before.
The second time, I don't think you got it. The first time, you might have got his name. But...
Just stick with Tua. We don't hear that.
Tagovailoa. There we go. Jesus. Like I said, it's been a long day. And so regardless of any possibility of contributing factors, which was the back and leg issue. And then so the league concussion protocols have become a widespread debate after this. Doctors clearing him last Sunday, and now they will be watching this more often than not, and that the neurological issues that was not considered a no-go will be that as it is, because there's not a lot of science behind it. They even had a third-party doctor come in, not part of the team, not part of the NFL, and said he was clear to play on Thursday night.
When that third-party doctor has since been fired.
Yeah.
For, I think they called it multiple mistakes in clearing him to come back.
Yeah, on Thursday.
Yeah.
Or from Thursday's injury. Yeah.
So, are you under the impression that this is still a conspiracy theory that the NFL knew that this guy would clear him? And
I didn't hear that there was a conspiracy.
Well, there's definitely that out there for sure, that the NFL thought that because they want the best players out there. This was an undefeated team at the time.
Come on,
and they've played a lot of great teams.
I don't know. I think they're clever enough to know that what happened is worse for the game than having Tua in there against the Bills, which sure, that's good for the ratings in the moment, but seeing that
I'm more
injury,
talking about the third party was like during the week leading up to the Thursday nighter.
No, I think that
it was on Sunday. I think the third party was on Sunday to let him go back in against the Bills. Maybe also.
I thought it was. I'm pretty sure it was a team doctor that said Thursday or Sunday was the reason why he got in. The third party was during the week.
Maybe.
Either way, both said he was good to go.
The only doctor I know got fired was the team doctor from the Sunday night.
No, it was the third party doctor that got fired.
Sounds like a challenge, boys.
I'm gonna challenge that. I'm pretty sure it's the team doctor and they got the NFLPA to get fired.
And the NFLPA fired the third party neurological consultant.
Are you reading that?
No.
Oh, okay. All right. Anyways, so someone look that up. Yeah, so he was a bit messed up. I thought that I was sure the third party was during the week that cleared him for
Maybe.
the Thursday nighter.
Says it first thing from the Guardian. Says an unaffiliated doctor involved in the decision to clear the Miami Dolphins quarterback Tua Tagovailoa after he was evaluated for a concussion during a recent game against Buffalo has been fired, according to an ESPN report on Saturday. And it goes on to say about the several mistakes. So it says unaffiliated.
And I was talking about during the week then too, because I thought that's what it was. I didn't think it was during the.
I thought Pete's challenge was unaffiliated versus
third party.
team.
Yeah.
That's what I thought his challenge was. But you guys can argue about that.
No, that's right. He said it was a team doctor. I said it was a third party neurobiologist. Or whatever the fuck. So Peter wins.
That's what it's leaning like to me. I mean, I'll keep looking shit up. Carry on.
Alrighty. So, though after this all these issues that I had with Tua during the Sunday game, do you think he should have been playing that on Thursday nighter? After
no, man, he should not have been playing in either game. Like, I can't believe that at 2022 we're still fucking shit up like this with concussions. Like, you got to be able to see when someone even maybe has a concussion, they got to get pulled, and that's it. They're done until they go get properly scanned. Like, they're done for the game. They
the
should be
problem
done.
is there's still not a lot of science to it either. As much as like, okay, the third party.
Well,
On
that's
Sunday, the whole thing is if they're like falling down from that, you think that's from a back and leg issue.
yeah, you probably
like-
suck at your job.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
the problem is
like,
too, you can create like a really good baseline too during your test because you do baseline tests, but he was never considered in concussion.
okay,
They said it was
but
all lower back and stuff like that.
but that's clearly a mistake. And like, if you're saying the science is not necessarily all there yet, then lean on the side of caution. Like,
Yeah.
if you see a guy getting up and stumbling, like something is wrong, and he says, no, it's my back. Sorry, no, you're out. That's it. You can't go back into a collision sport like the NFL after getting up from a hit and wobbling like that. Sorry, you're done. And maybe he still goes back in on Thursday, and maybe the same injury still happens. But at least during that same game, you got to take him out. You got to make sure you properly evaluate him as best you can.
Yeah. So all reports have said that after his concussion evaluation on Thursday, for him to come back in, they all came back clear. But if we are talking about him having this mysterious back injury, then it leads to believe that, of course, he would be cleared to play. Now, there's been talk about, like, the next question is going to be, what was the doctor's solution to these back injuries? Because he obviously did something to make his back magically better to come back in, right? If it was a back. So there's also that question where nobody has talked about that, and obviously you can still conspire to say, oh, we did this, we did that to your back and you're good to go, cortisone, whatever. But no, I think the doctor fucked up here. Got another report here. This is a Sports Illustrated article, and it says, according to Pro Football Talk, NFL Players Association decided to fire the doctor that apparently gave clearance to Miami Dolphins Tua to play in week 4, blah, 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 carries on. NFLPA has exercised its prerogative to terminate the unaffiliated neurotrauma consultant involved in the Tua situation. So I got to say that challenge-wise, Pete, I got to say you took this. Jess, I'm willing to entertain anything else if you can find that it says it's a team doctor. But at this point, I got to say Petey won that, which is horrible because he is destroying on this week's episode. Do I think he should have played? No, quite. Of course not. Of course not. Now, come Sunday when he's already played on Thursday or come back on Thursday, you assume as the casual fan that he's a-okay. Evidently he was not. The initial hit, which is another talk or a point of debate, is the hit on Thursday night, and it was Matt Milano, the Buffalo Bills. He's one of my fantasy dudes.
On Sunday.
On
Sunday. Sorry, my bad. On Sunday, and he was not fined. He was flagged for a late hit or whatever on the personal foul, but was not fined for the hit. And so that has been another talk of conversation, or another point of conversation, is why, if this is a major hit that obviously resulted in at least a temporary concussion, according to what we heard from the doctors, why was this not fined? Obviously that is besides the point of Tua being thrown back in there when he probably shouldn't have been and was not healthy, and that is the biggest cause for concern here. And just, if you is there there's conspiracy theories that people are saying it's because they wanted the best. I understand that, I get it, but I don't think the fucking NFL is that stupid, man.
It's just the Twitter universe too doing that, but I don't believe it. The thing is, you can't get away with it now. It's almost impossible to get away with that shit now. You can pay a ton of people off. There's so many heroes and whistleblowers. There's no point in trying to do that. Your product is on the field, and you want to protect the product as much as possible. You don't want to bring controversy into this in any sense. It doesn't make sense. Thursday night, should he have played? I don't know. Tell you the truth. I didn't expect him to come back in Sunday. After I saw him get up, I'm like, oh, he's fucking done. I did not expect him to come back against the Bills. He came back and won. There was a halftime thing with Fitzpatrick, who was his teammate a couple years ago, and he said he was fine. A lot of them talked to him that he was fine. He was chill. He did his thing. Obviously, he can hide that for sure. I didn't think he should have played Sunday. After he got up and he couldn't fucking stand, and he had need to help 2 players to get off the fucking field, he should not have come back in Sunday. And at that point too, he shouldn't have played Thursday, but he came back in. He played great and beat the Bills. So it's tough. Going into Thursday, I didn't really think anything of it. I know there was tons of controversy around it. I didn't think anything of it. And then when I saw him hit the back of his head and his fingers go all, they call it being fenced or whatever, it was terrifying. And clearly he should not have been there. So as much as there's arguments, the conspiracy theories that the NFL paid this guy off, and then because the NFLPA was looking into investigating the NFL after Sunday about what had allowed, because they allowed Tua to go back out and play against the Bills. And now they're obviously continuing to look into it now and they got the guy fired, which after the fact makes perfect sense.
When I first saw Tua went down, obviously you see the big head snap back and hit the ground, and then his hands go all wonky. My first thought, of course, I saw the head snap back, but I was like, oh, his fucking hand is broken. I thought his finger was fucked, and then obviously that's bad enough, especially on a strong hand. But then to find out not too long after that it was more the neurological thing, and it went from, I guess there's always kind of that excitement where when somebody gets it hurt and they show the gruesomeness, there is that, I've got to rewind it. But you guys know Kevin will rewind that shit for days to rewatch that injury, right? But when you find out that it's a neurological thing and it's a head thing, it changes your fucking tune right away. A broken finger,
it's because you can't rehab that,
right? A broken finger you can fix. You can still play with a broken finger.
Oh, I would much rather break a hand than have
100%. 100%.
I
Right.
have my
So,
brain doing it. Oh, yeah.
right. And that's where I was like, oh fuck. And I felt bad for like being like, oh shit, you know, but because it was, you know, at one point it's like, holy fuck, that's a crazy thing to happen, because I thought it fucking broke in the way it was, his finger was, and then to find out it was neurological, I felt bad after that. And, you know, it's not a good thing. And hopefully he was playing great, and you know, we assume, and from all, you know, his draft status and whatnot, he should be a damn good player, and hopefully he can get back to 100%. And hopefully this doesn't hinder him going forward.
No, and so he was followed up with CT scans and other tests with an MRI on Friday, and everything, according to a source, everything came back clean. So my question to you guys, my new question is, when do you think it's okay for him to come back? Not being a lab coat guy, just off the top of your head. No knowledge of the situation.
I mean, I would say Sunday. I mean, I'm not a fucking medical professional. If tests came back clean, obviously there might be something amiss, but if everything that they can test for comes back clean and everything seems to be okay, then why do you hold him out? Right? I mean,
so there is no way I would play him on Sunday. No fucking way.
I bet you he plays.
Just out of an abundance of caution. I don't care if every fucking test you can do comes back negative. A week and a couple days is not enough time to recover from a concussion that serious, and that looked really serious.
100%, Peter. I agree. I agree with you on that.
And the recovery time frame for concussions are not
nothing's set in stone, because
that's right. They can be fluid.
It depends on the person.
Yeah, but there's no fucking way he'd be in there next week. No fucking way.
So after like I understand where Josh is coming from. Josh is coming from the point, more or less, like the team. CT the CT came back clean, the MRI came back clean, but you also just set a precedent too. You put a guy in danger after a pretty big issue, which you guys claimed was a back issue, and it was clearly his head. And then once you get a concussion, it's way easier to get another one. So the more time you see in collisions and stuff like that, the more likely you are to get another concussion. If I was the team, I would definitely give it over another week. I'd give him easily 2 to 3 weeks, because it for what has happened. Because the problem is he hit the back of his head pretty much in the same place in 4 days, and he was fucked up both times, like really fucked up both times. And Miami is looking like a great team. I understand that. But you still gotta look at you still have to look at your image too at the same time. But you have to make sure that the guy can actually continue to play. He's still a first round talent, and you still want to make sure that he's able to play later down the road. Like,
the health of your investment is paramount when it comes to a business, right?
And they have a decent backup in Teddy B. Like,
Teddy B.
You might as well.
I heard one of the commentators call him Teddy B. I was like, "Whoa, that's our name for him."
No, I definitely stole that. But like he can get you a couple wins. Miami's played a lot of good teams lately, so it's to be 3-1 right now. I'm kind of shocked that Miami's at that. So good on them. They've suffered a big loss. And I think that they should really, really give some time with Tua so that he can come back healthy, and help them get to the playoffs. So, go ahead.
No, I agree. Like, he should have some time off. I would go as far as like a month. Just fucking make sure that you are fucking right.
But you don't
know.
That's the problem.
Long time.
That's 4 games, man. That's quarter of the season.
Yep. That's why I think, although they probably should let him rest, if the scans and everything comes back clean, he's playing next Sunday.
I think from an
I don't know if it's right,
image,
but
I
he'll
think,
be playing.
I think they'll wait another week just because they look really horrible right now.
I'd be shocked if he's playing next Sunday. Shocked.
I guess we'll see.
I don't even know who they're playing next week. Hopefully it's an easier team. But anyways,
hopefully it's not an easier team. We want them to lose, bro. Aren't you a fucking backup Bills fan?
no, I hate the Bills. They fucking smashed my Rams at the beginning of the season. And today, Josh Allen cried like a little bitch after a late hit that was fucking terrible, and he got the 15 yards.
Still got a W.
Yeah, because stupid booger gave him the fucking 15 yards.
Hey, don't blame it on Jerome Booger, man.
No, you're right. It was definitely Harbaugh because he went for the 4th down. But it was a terrible if you actually look at the game tape, this guy won on the blitz. Like he was 1-on-1 with Allen and he let up. And then Booger still called the fucking
yeah, it was a bit of a hesitation.
It was a hesitation. It's because he didn't want to get not the unabated quarterback.
But by that point, Allen had already thrown the ball away. Or throwing the ball away from him.
No, he was right there. That was not a fucking late hit at all. He just he sat on the ground and he literally banged the fucking turf. And he was like, "Where's my call?"
Well,
and this is a guy that plays. This is the guy that plays like super tough running and everything like that. And then he's crying for a late hit.
Got to take the advantage where you can.
It's not a late hit. Anyways, there's also Boogers who protects quarterbacks constantly too. So Josh, who's your Super Bowl favorite?
The fucking Buffalo Bills, man. I'm 99.9% sure that right after they lost in the AFC Championship last season to Cincy, that I said that they were going to win the Super Bowl next year, and meaning this year, and I'm sticking with that. I think they're a great team. They had a little bit of adversity throughout the first half today against Baltimore, but in the second half, they said, "Fuck you, Lamar. We are going to play you tough on defense." And Josh Allen pulled it out on the offense, and they pulled out a great W. And they're going to continue to do that. They are going to continue to do it. Yeah, they lost to Miami there, but that's not going to happen again. I guarantee that. I guarantee that Buffalo does not lose to Miami in the next game or in the playoffs if they were to beat them against Miami. But for me, it's the Buffalo Bills, Bills Mafia. Josh Allen is a fucking superstar, and Stephon Diggs ain't too shabby either. And that defense with Tremaine, is it Edwards? Tremaine Edwards? Is that right? Edmonds. Matt Milano. I know Micah Hyde's out, but Jordan Poyer, he came over. Like the defense is phenomenal, and
they're phenomenal without Tre'Davious White. Like the secondary is ridiculous.
Yeah, I know, and like you got Rousseau, who's been playing great on the line, so that defense is top notch.
I never even knew about this guy until this year. He just kept fucking living in the Rams' backfield.
So I think they're going to continue to push on, and I think they're getting the old Super Bowl championship this year.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'll be shocked. But
I mean, I will be too, but I'll be happy.
It'll be the 5th time that they've been to the Super Bowl, and we'll see if they finally get that.
Hey now.
They're not the Leafs, man. They'll be fine.
Whoa. Leafs have lots of championships, okay? It's just really, really old.
Not in our lifetime.
There was only single-digit teams.
Yeah. Well, I agree with what you said, Josh. I think the Bills are the team. I think they could have been last year as well, but as we all know, the overtime rule that's since been changed, that they didn't have a chance to get on offense in that wild ending to that game versus the Chiefs. And I think it's just as good of a caliber team this year. I think they have a real good shot. Go Bills.
Yeah, the Bills look definitely really good. They are definitely the odds-on favorite to win. But I'm looking at back-to-back. Rams are going to grab it again.
Wait, you, Jesse, are picking the Rams?
Yeah, man, back-to-back.
I'm shocked.
I like to be
Shocked.
right constantly, unlike you. Except for today. You've been fucking pretty dominant today. But
Crushing it.
once in a while you show up. Yeah, so I think the Rams are gonna do it. They got destroyed by the Bills. I still consider that a preseason game, even though I was talking the most shit before the game.
Even though it counted.
It counted, but in my mind it was a preseason game.
Okay.
The Bills have way harder of a time getting through the playoffs than the Rams do. It'll be pretty interesting to see because KC looks really good even without Tyreek. Again, you still have Miami, who looks the team to beat with a concussed fucking Tua. Beat him. Lamar Jackson looked like shit today. Not gonna lie.
First half, he looked pretty good.
Oh yeah, but it was. I think weather had a bit of an issue too. Why the game was what it was, but it was. I think you got Baltimore, Miami, Bills, KC. Denver doesn't look good.
I would throw Cincy in there.
Yeah, I think Cincy will start heating up pretty soon. They just beat Miami, I guess, but they were also playing preseason games. It looked like to me, but yeah, they got a lot harder way to get there. It'll be interesting. And Bills actually do have a lot of injuries right now, so. But they also do have Tre'Davious White coming back probably next week, which will lock down that fucking secondary even more. All right. So since we're on the topic of NFL still, we'll head into the penalty box. Oh, yeah. Kev picked the Bills too, like a fucking chump. I think he just jumped on the bandwagon like the rest of
Like a fucking chump, he says. Kev's not even here to defend himself, man.
Fuck you guys. You guys talk shit when I'm not here either. I don't give a shit. We got AB, who is now retired in our penalty box. And this is because there has been a video that has surfaced from May that he has exposed himself to a woman in a Dubai hotel swimming pool. So originally what happened was Brown appeared to place his exposed butt next to the woman's face twice in a pool. And then I guess a lot of guys there around the pool were egging him on to continue. And then he decided to show him the other side of that appendage. And
he whipped his dick out.
He did whip his dick out. Then he said, "Do you want it?"
And the bitch said no.
And apparently he got kicked out of the hotel with it. And it wasn't just her complaint, is what the story is. So even in retirement, he is landing in the points and penalties penalty box.
A rare talent.
So what was our easy second to the penalty box we talked about earlier?
The troll.
The troll, yeah. Yeah, the troll. You know what else could have been? The butt punt.
Oh, yeah.
The butt punt could have easily landed in the penalty box.
That was the Miami Bills game, wasn't it?
Yeah, Thomas Morstead booted the punt into his fucking blocker's ass.
There's also the safety.
It was like almost a
There was
field.
also the safety. You're right.
Yeah, Garoppolo.
Fucking what's his name? Orlevsky or something. He was so happy that
Easy.
somebody else stepped out of bounds.
That is few company that they stepped out of the back of the end zone.
Yeah.
The thing was it was a better play for San Fran too because he threw a pick on that play.
Yeah.
Return for a touchdown.
Oh, wow. So obviously this is just stupid of AB to pull his ass or his dick out. But it does not surprise me with this guy's antics.
Oh, the guy
Yeah,
almost stripped down in the middle of the game.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
Doesn't surprise you in the slightest. But come on. You
And
gotta have,
my guess is if he asked her, "Do you want it?" she turned it down. Maybe it's not that big, AB. You know? But, man, there was definitely we had a tough time initially coming up with a penalty box, but when it comes down to it, there's probably 3 or 4 we could have put in there. Shit. And AB's in the box. Been at least once he's been in the box before when he pulled his tirade. I wouldn't be surprised if he's been in there before.
Pretty sure we gave him shit when he fucking just decided to strip down and leave.
Bro, that's what I mean. Yeah, it definitely was in the box for that, but
there's been years of it. Like, remember when he went to a sub-zero chamber with no flip-flops and just bare feet and got
yeah, he got frostbite, yeah. Fucking moron. Oh, good old AB. Good old AB. So has there been a charges pressed or anything against him for indecent exposure?
No, it's Dubai, man. He gets away with it. He's a man there.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. Well, I think we've been talking for just about long enough, boys. Why don't we recap our scores and finish this show off?
Yeah, let's. So let's kick this off with a little bit of golf we got in.
First off, Pete, before I'm going to interrupt you here, your addition to the spreadsheet is incorrect. Those plus ones should not be on others. It should be in the episode. Bud.
You are correct. But
and you fucking missed a +1 for me, motherfucker. This guy.
For what?
Was trying the fucking MLB playoffs against Josh. He said that it was a 5-game fucking.
I'm
I
minus one twice. Okay. Yeah, I'm minus one twice.
Peter's been fucking manipulating this for ages.
Minus. Oh yeah,
that's why he.
I just got away with the most nights.
I'm surprised I remember that.
Yeah, you've got this all fucked up.
Yeah. It's late, all right.
He's rusty.
Let's all just calm the fuck down. There. I'll put your -1s in the right place, you fucker.
Yep. Fucking right. We gotta do a little bit of house tidying up here on the old points penalties document for episode 25.
Yeah, something's still not right.
Yeah, it's because I don't have a -1 in the fucking golf. It's a -1 in the episode.
Yeah.
Amateur hour.
+1 and -1 for Jesse on the episode.
Okay. Now that I got my shit together, thanks, boys. We'll start with the golf and other stuff. So we got a round of golf in. We played Fergus. It was me, Yosh, Kevin, and DeLine.
Because Jesse's a bitch.
Jesse's a bitch, didn't want to come.
Yeah.
He knew he'd lose.
Yeah, but I've been losing all the whole time with golf, so
yeah.
But anything else new?
Get some practice, bud. Come on. It was actually a close round. I think mostly because I fell off at the end, but I had a significant lead for most of the day. Anyway, I ended up beating Josh by 1 stroke. Josh beat Kevin by 2 strokes. And DeLine was, 9 strokes behind Kev. So not good. So he got the -1. But Kevin took the 0 on the day. Yosh took a +1. And Pete took a +2. Now we can't remember when this bet happened, but it definitely did.
Yeah, it definitely happened.
It definitely happened, and we can't remember when or where.
It was either golfing or at my wedding.
Yeah, one of the two, or maybe something completely different. Who knows? But anyway, Kev came up to me and said, "Guaranteed, the Cowboys are beating the Bucks tonight." So that'll tell us what day it was, or that weekend at least.
It was definitely not your wedding.
Yeah, I was thinking it was the first weekend.
It was definitely the first week.
Yeah. So it would have been at golf.
It would have been at golf. There you go. So anyway, I immediately said, "You're wrong, Kev. There's no way the Cowboys are beating the Bucks tonight," or whatever. And I was right. So I picked up a point off that bet. Kev took a minus. And then we got into today's show, starting with the Kadri suspension. Peter was right. Josh was wrong. Although, was Jesse wrong on that too? Jesse, were you in on that challenge?
No, I was not. I said I.
Are you just saying that now because you don't want to minus
No.
one?
I said I as a joke. I said
As a
he's
joke.
probably gonna get suspended. He always gets suspended in the playoffs.
Ooh.
Is what I said.
Okay. I feel like you were on team.
And then
he definitely was suspended.
I was thinking he was, but I was not part of it.
Okay.
I don't think we ever updated the listeners on that. We only found like he was suspended in 2021.
We never mentioned that. There you
Yeah.
go. So if you forgot that challenge, it happened. And Peter was right. He did not get suspended this past playoffs. So that was a +1 for Peter, -1 for Josh. I guess we'll let Jesse out for that one. Then there was the MLB divisional format, where Josh thought it was a 7-game series in the divisional. It's actually a 5 still.
Done fucked up.
Done fucked up. Jesse took a point off Josh on that one. Then we had the Pujols, which fucking LA team he played for. And we just called it no contest on that.
He
'cause it was
played for
actually
both.
And then there was the third-party doctor that got fired in the NFL. Peter took a point off Jesse on that one.
This is a big day, man. It's not quite a change, but
It
it's
is
high
a
coming
big day. So
Means
what
like
that
we should
means,
just take more weeks off, eh?
up.
We get agitated.
So Peter was a +5 on the episode,
That's insane.
and he was at 0 before, so up to +5 on the season. Hallelujah. Kev was a -1. He was at 2 before, so he's up to, or down rather, to +1. Jesse, even on the day, was at +4, remains at +4. And Josh was -1 on the day, drops to +6. So all of a sudden, we've got a real close race.
That's a tight race.
We may have to go back to having a couple episodes every month.
So Jesse's +4, Peter's +5, Josh is +6. And Kev, sorry buddy, I know you're listening. You're back down where you belong at the bottom at a +1.
Hey, he's not too far back.
You're above
though.
0.
Yeah.
You're above 0.
Not too far back at all. It's a tight race.
Yeah, big swing
Oh.
today. Big
Well,
swing.
we're done fucked up with Pete and the golf shit and letting him win some challenges today. Fuck.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't mind. It's fine.
He has this time, and then he fucking just sits back. And the problem is Kev wasn't here because he usually takes a bunch of points from Peter because he's the only one that knows anything about fucking hockey because we don't know anything.
Only one challenge today was about hockey.
I know, but usually Kevin challenges you
No, I
about hockey
know.
constantly.
Yeah, because I just make up shit and Kev challenges me on it. Son of a
We have no
bitch.
idea.
All right, gents. It was so long ago, I cannot remember who the bitch was today. So
It was
whoever that
Jesse.
bitch is,
Trust.
started us. How was your drink, little bitch?
Hawaiian style pale ale, Spearhead Brewing Company. It was the tits. It's good shit.
It was the tip.
Crafted in Kingston.
I mean, Pete, I'm
Good
pretty
stuff.
sure that's a better review than yours.
It is. Well done. Well done. Your review is now the better.
It was the tits, he says.
No, it was good because it's got a lot of citrus to it. Not particularly fond of it, but this one was good. So good job, Spearhead Brewing. I'll have another for that for sure. Peter, as the second bitch, how was yours?
I prefer second champ, you know?
Neutral.
No,
Runner
if you're not
up
as
champ.
you always said through this, if you're not first, you're last.
No, runner up. I had the Monty's Aged Rye Ale from Tomorrow Brewing Company, which is quite good. It's I had two of them, two tall boys. I don't know if I'd have too many more because they're kind of
I
heavy.
definitely had a way better review on this.
But okay, just to reach out to all the kids out there that are listening. Apparently, what they say these days is it fucks. It fucks. That's how good it is. Apparently, that's the thing.
It fucks.
Yeah, that's
What
it.
websites are you on?
I don't know. That's what the kids these days say when something is good.
I've heard of fire.
No, that's old. It's fire. It's lit.
Oh, okay.
Come on,
Sick.
you're living 10 years ago. Come on. Now it fucks. So there you go. Yeah, it was good.
I wonder if that should be a challenge.
How are you gonna verify that?
2022 slang. It fucks.
Anyway, Yosh, I forget what you had, but how was it?
I mean, it fucks. I'll say that much. Rouge River Brewing out of Markham, Holy Trinity Hazy IPA. It's got little goblets on there, 6.8%. Good enough for today's beer champion. It was a hazy IPA. It was really good. I liked it. I had some backups and I went through those pretty quick. I'm sitting here with zero beer, which is not great. I guess I should have had a little cooler beside me or something. So done fucked up there, but it's a good thing for Rouge River. It means I enjoyed the beer. It was very tasty, typical IPA of the hazy variety, and it was really good. And I was happy to take the beer championship tonight.
Fucking guy.
For those of you who can't see, I'm celebrating.
You shit the bed on the scoreboard, though.
Still ahead of you, bud. Still ahead of both of you.
For now.
No, I'm just gonna shut my mouth next week, bro.
That's how the first place does it.
Yeah.
If you want to win, don't say shit.
There's only like 10 weeks left, right? So...
Depending.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right. So for Kevin who's not here tonight, for Jesse, for Peter, for all of us here, Points and Penalties, I'd like to thank you for listening. Please subscribe on YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts, right down here. Please give us a like and follow on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Points Penalties. And until next week, or whenever we get to it,
Stay out of the
penalty box.